Once a law passes, sometimes you always say to yourself, well, we can never win this one. But I differ. I believe ultimately in the long haul, with the help of Betsy McCoy and the help of you, we're going to defeat Obamacare. We're going to bring it to an end. We're going to bring back. We're going to bring back the free market institutions so that people don't leave the medical profession, so that people join the medical profession, because America has the best, certainly the best medical care in all the world. So follow her lead here today. Thank you for Thank you very much, and God bless.
There it is. And it's going down in defeat. I'm so glad to be here today among people who really value principle, because that's what the Conservative Party in New York stands for. Often it's the only party it stands for, and I feel very proud for that reason to be speaking with you today. And it's principle, it's belief in the American way that is going to carry us to victory over this oppressive health law. The forces of evil robbed us of our Supreme Court victory, but we have another chance. In 2014, that midterm election will be a referendum on the Obama health law. And we, the people, will finally triumph over the forces of evil. 2014, before I even get into what the Obama health law says, let me explain why we have such a wonderful opportunity in 2014. Why we need to work harder than we've ever worked before. Because in 2014, there are 33 U.S. Senate seats in contention. 13 are safe Republican conservative seats. 20 are currently held by Democrats. But of those 20, 12 are in Republican conservative leaning states or swing states. We only have to win 6 of those 12 to take the United States Senate and overturn this law. We can do that. We can do that. And the outrageous information that we've gleaned in the last 2 weeks about the misconduct of the Internal Revenue Service is only going to help us, because the woman, Sarah Paul Ingram, who was responsible for targeting conservatives and even church groups, I call her the predator at the IRS. The predator-in-chief at the IRS has now been promoted to leading the IRS functions on Obamacare. The Obama health law lowers your standard of care. It puts government in charge of your care. And it takes away something as precious as life itself, your liberty. When you go to file your taxes, you're going to have to attach proof that you are enrolled in what the government deems acceptable health insurance. You're going to have to print the policy number and the insurer right there on your IRS form, and then staple or email that proof. Now, or you pay a fine. Providing that information to the IRS about your health insurance will protect you from the penalties, but it will subject you to the tightening control of government over your doctor and your health. Under this law, for the first time in history, the Secretary of Health and Human Services is empowered. It's in Section 1311. The Secretary of Health and Human Services is empowered to dictate how doctors treat privately insured patients. So even if you have a health plan from Aetna or Cigna, and you pay for it entirely yourself out of your own pocket, the federal government is still going to be in charge of your care. This is the first time in American history the federal government has attempted to standardize the practice of medicine. Your doctor's decisions are going to be monitored for compliance with the Secretary's guidelines on how each thing is treated, right? And ultimately, your doctor may have to decide between doing what's right for you and avoiding the government penalty. Imagine The federal government in Washington telling cardiologists when to use a stent versus a bypass, when the OBGYN should do a cesarean. I laugh because the president all the time is telling us about all the choices we're going to have under this law. The president's pro-choice only about one thing. All the other choices are taken away. If you currently get your health insurance at work, as 165 million Americans do, almost all of us do, you're likely to lose it. Because the law says that employers with 50 or more full-time workers have to provide coverage or pay a penalty, $2,000 per worker. Now, it's not just any coverage. The employer has to provide that one-size-fits-all government-designed plan that costs about twice as much as what many employers currently offer. So all over the country, employers are looking at that and saying, I can't afford that. They're already pushing people down below 40 hours a week, below 30 actually, that's what the regulation says, or informing them that they're not going to offer the insurance anymore. I'm sure you have friends, or maybe it's happened to you yourself. You've been told you're going to be part-time now on. Even governments all over the country are doing it. The state of Virginia just notified many of its employees they have to be part-time to avoid the cost of Obamacare. Now, what happens if you lose your on-the-job coverage? Oh, it's going to be terrific, says Barack Obama. It's going to be terrific. You're going to go shopping at the health insurance exchange. He says it's like going to the mall. Well, it's really like going to a supermarket that only sells cereal. Or going to a car dealership that only sells four-door sedans. No hatchbacks, no convertibles. The assumption is we are too stupid to pick the kind of health insurance we need. The president just last week was talking about how you're going to get free preventive care. I've never met anybody use the word free except a real huckster, right? That's a Huey Long type word, free. It's not free. You're being forced to pay for those mammograms and colonoscopies and other preventive care up front, whether you actually go get it or not. And you know something? Being forced to pay for a colonoscopy feels almost as bad as getting one.